Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Trying something out that's a little different since we've got a drought of games right now. Usually channels don't really re-review a game or touch old games, but you know what? We live in a new and terrible age where games can get a lot better or a lot worse with new updates. I wanted to just cover a little backstory here. I've been playing Destiny since the first game. I actually bought, beat, and traded in within 3 days of owning that first game. I didn't like it at all when it first came out and did not really get into the series until Taken King had came out. Destiny 2, on the other hand, I have a love-hate relationship with. At first, I loved the game, I liked the expansions, I'd found a looter shooter that I enjoyed grinding. Destiny was this game that I could just not play for a year or two and come back with just an insane amount of new content. What kind of started to bother me was it felt like everything I did was just thrown away and wasted with, getting rid of all the content that I'd paid for. So I haven't really played it since Beyond Light. With Witch Queen out right now, I decided, you know what, let's give this game another shot. Is Destiny 2 worth your time if you're a new player? Is it even worth going back to if you're a returning player? Or is Bungie just up to their shit again? I'm going to start off by touching on the graphics here for you guys. The game is just gorgeous. The landscapes, the lighting, the gun effects, cool armor pieces. I mean, it all just really makes the game just so nice to look at, considering it's like 10 years old at this point. I mean, true endgame for Destiny 2 is fashion. You're going to be finding yourself in just really cool new locations. There's this new dark haunted feeling right here with the Witch Queen. I did start playing during Season of the Haunted. Something that's a little confusing, but I'll explain the way seasons work soon. But the season had a creepy vibe to it. Most of your gear looks skeletal. It's got this dark characteristics, kind of like bone looking. It's a little Vecna inspired. Either way, I found the visuals to be pretty awesome. But I mean, I've never really had an issue with Destiny and its graphics. If you've played 1, the graphics are just as good, if not better. And if you've played 2, you're in for just some new areas, new missions, patrols, and lost sectors. A really cool technical thing is that you get one loading screen when you're going planet to planet. I think it's a crazy achievement for the game, and it really just shows how far we've come with video games. Story is really something that just surprised the hell out of me. I really enjoyed the story in Destiny 2, and that means a lot coming from someone who got rid of the first game because the story was basically non-existent. Witch Queen takes a storyline that's been hinted at for years in Destiny 2, puts you against this big bad, and it's not really just like the typical big bad like Oryx from the Taken King. The Witch Queen Savathun has her own motivations. There's a little bit of backstory on how she gets her powers. You're going to be exploring this new area that she's created called the Throne World, and the whole goal is figuring out how she's using the same light that you have to come back to life. My only complaint about the story is the seasons that I touched on earlier. Within the seasons, I mean, there's these important story elements, and it's literally a double-edged sword, guys. You're not going to understand a lot of how things even got to where they are if you didn't play the seasons prior, and I didn't do that, so I was lost as hell at first. Without spoiling how she has the light, I can say that the new elements that they brought to the Hive, enemies are just awesome. They've added this new thing where you can kind of tap into this dark world, platform on objects that aren't there. Gives you a nice break from all the shooting. There's new enemies that literally use the light and can come back to life. And the only way to beat them is to kill them and then crush their ghost in your hand. Which is such a sick animation, by the way. It really never got old. The new Throne World is interesting to explore. There's some lost areas there. A long post-game mission that helps you get this really cool rocket launcher, and even just more content that I haven't completed. I mean, I spent around $30 on the expansion. I think it's 40 MSRP, but it goes on sale here and there. And I mean, I've put over 60 hours into the game. So I mean, I know the expansion, you could probably beat the story in about 10, maybe less hours. But I mean, there's just so much to do in the game. I've just feel like I got bit by this Destiny bug, and I figured out that Bungie just figured out how to keep players around this time around. I mean, you're going to enjoy the story of the Witch Queen, but if you really want to understand things, do yourself a favor, watch a video recap on YouTube or something. just to get caught up. Gameplay here is, in my opinion, where Destiny 2 shines, and it's really what keeps me coming back. I mean, gunplay since the first game is just so fucking addicting, guys. It's, for anyone new, think Halo and Borderlands combined. You get a different class that you could pick: Hunter, which is DPS, the tank, which is the Titan, and Warlock, which is like the space wizard with guns. Each class has different subtypes. Arc, which is electric. You've got Void, which is like the space matter. Flame, and then there's this new one called Stasis, which is like ice, basically. You're gonna need Beyond Light to access that, which I already had, but you know, I probably have to replay it again with my Warlock build. What's awesome with the update here with Witch Queen is that they've actually revamped the way the build system works. You're not gonna just level up and pick class 1, 2, or 3, which is, you know, right now in Arc. They've actually updated Void, they've updated Flame, and they've kind of made it on par with that new Stasis. What makes this cool is that you've got a whole new way to build your characters. I ran a Warlock this time and created a Void monster that was just constantly able to throw trap grenades and lead tons of damage to enemies. Then I built out a fire type that went straight just damage, and I was just Thanos snapping and throwing a flaming sword at enemies. The new name for this is Void 3.0 and Flame 3.0. So the next season they'll be releasing Arc 3.0. There's a lot of guns here that rotate with the new seasons. You get this ability to craft guns, which is a huge bonus. I mean, you're going to be grinding a lot less for better rolls, and personally, that's if you even care about that stuff. You could play Destiny the way you want and go, you know, full sweat fest, and I need the best rolls and the best mods to even be viable. Just honestly, just log on, kill some things, do the weekly challenges, and get off. Mods are no longer a thing that you can lose, so feel free to gear up all your guns and armor. You're going to get a ton of legendary drops, you can get a ton of shards. I mean, I've kept around 2,000 the entire time. Exotics drop left and right. I mean, if you're doing any of the weekly missions, you're going to be getting exotics. You can buy them from Xur still, who shows up once a week with brand new different exotics for you to buy. I mean, gameplay, guys, is just so much more user friendly here. You get unlimited shaders. I know before you change the paint on your armor and good luck, it's gone. You're gonna have to find it again. Now it's unlimited. You can apply it to the gun or the Guardian. I mean, there's still a lot of things you probably have to look up to understand, but the accessibility is just so much better than it used to be, and that says a lot. I had to cover sound and music here.
Something else. Before we left the ship, we ran into one of her knights. And
it had a ghost, Ikora. Same as any other light bearer.
A ghost? A hive knight with a ghost? But that means...
I'm gonna keep it short. It's Bungie, guys. I mean, these guys made Halo when Halo was at its best. The gun sound effects are awesome. Everyone's got a voice. Even weirdly enough, your character. Something new. Ability effects are pretty loud, and I mean, you can hear and distinguish each one the longer you play, so it really helps in PvP. Activating your super, for example, is something you can definitely notice. The sound in the game is just top notch, just no complaints there at all. I did want to just touch on some issues. I mean, I ran it on PC and there was just a few bugs in the tower. It just seems like it won't load anything. It was a weird glitch that I had. I just can never load my inventory. I can never load shaders. So I had to do it all, you know, before going into the tower. But my main complaint, guys, is the season pass. I mean, I haven't realized that Bungie figured this out. And I mean, I bought the DLC thinking I was going to get just more content, I guess, than I thought. But I missed 17 seasons of story. Every season has a storyline, and I mean, I jumped in at Season of the Haunted, not really realizing that I missed 4 seasons before that kind of explained things. It was a spooky storyline. There was Wraith versions of characters and summoning nightmares. It was a blast, honestly. I mean, I really liked it. I mean, I even got to tier 100 and got the skull armor. I've got awesome guns. I'm having so much fun to where I want to buy the next season. But I mean, I just feel like it's such a huge missed opportunity to keep this content away from new players. The story is actually interesting this time around and good. And it just sucked that I had to go find a recap video to really understand what happened. I know I could pay $80 and buy all the 4 seasons I missed beforehand, but that's just such a steep price. I mean, considering it's already happened, it's over. It's like, you save yourself 40 bucks and just look up a video, and I mean, if you missed it, you missed it. I can't help but kind of complain about it. I wish maybe they had included like their own recap or some kind of, the story so far, or something to just ease players into this, because I really doubt I'm one of the few that, didn't play that content. I think tons of people take breaks from this game and come back, and especially if you're a new player, it's a little overwhelming to really understand what the hell's going on. I mean, $40 for a DLC, I feel like I got my money's worth, but there could have just been a little more with the story, especially since they're focusing on it so much. To wrap things up here, guys, Destiny 2 is just my guilty pleasure. I can't stress how much fun I had jumping back in. The game's even better with friends. Solo's completely viable though. I hit dungeons, I did new nightfalls, and I'm just doing missions now to help my Guardian look even cooler. Logging on, doing those weeklies, hitting challenges, having a blast this time, guys. I'm gonna have to just go with a 9 out of 10 for Witch Queen's expansion. For a game to keep my attention at, almost 80 hours so far, and just improve on things every season, I really can't recommend this enough. I also think that the season pass is completely worth it, and it can only add to the hours that you're playing the game. This isn't a season pass where you're grinding away for this Vader skin. Don't get me wrong, the skins in the pass are an awesome bonus, but the pass gets you a new storyline, some missions to play, a unique exotic gun. In my opinion, the seasons they've added make Destiny feel new and interesting all the time. I do hate how much the story is locked away in those passes, and I wish there was a better way of getting the previous passes, but I just feel like the expansion should have included just a little more for players. But I just can't help but admit, I'm having a blast playing the game, guys. I truly hate that I'm selling you guys on a season pass, but for 10 bucks, the amount of stuff that you guys are getting, if you like the game, it's a no-brainer. If you've left Destiny 2, or if you haven't played it yet, I think this is really the best time to jump in. The game's completely free now, so you can give it a shot before deciding to sink any money into those expansions. Every company tries to throw around this live service thing. EA's trying it, Ubisoft is borderline going out of business trying to do it with all their games, but I feel like Bungie is leading the way with Destiny 2, and this is a little low-key. People don't talk about this enough. This is definitely the best expansion since Taken King, and I strongly suggest diving into the world now that it's been perfected. I hope you guys enjoyed the video though. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Definitely drop a comment. I'm working on getting these reviews out this year. It's a new thing. We're a new channel. We're doing our best to grow. Do appreciate every view that we get. I'll see you guys next time though. Thanks.